are now joined by Mr. Peter McGuire, Chief Executive Officer at Exim Australia. Peter, hi. Thank you so much for making time. Always a pleasure having you. What do you make of this 15% up move that we have seen in crude prices over the last 10-15 days? What explains that? And more importantly, do you see it sticky around that 120 mark, or do you expect it to taper a bit?
Well, I think everyone's gathering their breath because of that huge move to the upside that we've seen. It's been dramatic. As far as the futures market, traders have been enjoying the move to the upside. The consumers are being hit hard and producers are very, very happy people counting the money. So I think that there's even further upside. I wouldn't be surprised to even take a 123 to 125 handle out. We're at 120 now. And it's that remembering also, we've had a very reasonable sell-off as far as US dollar index. We've got some geopolitical concerns with Iran seizing 2 Greek oil tankers in the Gulf and accusing Athens of piracy.
You think China reopened contributed quite a bit to crude?
I think so, Pankaj. I think a couple of reasons why. You know, you've got a different mood coming out of China. In the last, I've noticed as far as news items in the last 24 hours, and I feel as though that they've enjoyed their quieter time with those. When I say enjoyed it, it's been one that they've felt very dramatically across Main Street, and I think that they're coming to a point in time they want to re-engage their economy, get it moving again, and get people back into living out of 400 million lockdown. Very much a positive tone, I think, and of course it's got summer over there, so you would think that the health benefits are going to be dramatic.
In terms of dollar index, what is the sense that you get? As dollar index falls down, a lot of these commodities will tend to react on the upside?
Yeah, absolutely. We were at a 104, nearly 104 and a half, and that's only going back a couple of weeks ago, and it was just dramatic, and that was all baked in with Jerome Powell's thoughts as far as 50 basis points for June, 50 for July, inflation galloping away. And now that was exhausted, I think, to the upside. We've seen a pretty tremendous sell-off. We're at 101.50. And as it gets closer to 100, that's why I think it'll be a further push to the upside for some of those commodities, especially crude. Have a look at natural gas. It's been dramatic. So it's now sitting nearly at $9. So, yeah, it's an incredible appetite for traders. All the stars are aligning, and everyone seems to be doing very, very well on the trading front.
Well, yes, Peter, the traders might be having a good time, but it's just difficult to keep track because this year currency and commodities moving like a stock price. I mean, dollar index suddenly moving to 105, then coming back to 100. We haven't seen these kind of volatile moves, at least, if you look at last 3-4 years. Do you expect this kind of volatility to continue for the rest of the year? And for the dollar index itself, where do you see it stabilizing?
Well, I do expect it to see volatile times till the end of the year. We've only got 7 months left, and I think that the inflation story, they've got to get under control. And whether the Fed will get it under control, no one knows. We're here waiting and watching. So there's the first part. The second part is going to be, I think, additional softness as far as that US dollar. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it back at 100. And I think it's too hard to call over the summer period where it runs. And I think that the volatility will remain across currencies, maybe in equities as well. So there's a lot of big moving themes that need to be considered at the moment.
Right. In terms of commodities, what would you now be bullish on after the recent move, or what would you want to sell at higher levels?
Well, I think if you're looking at crude, we've been calling a 120 handle and it's produced it. So maybe it's got a 123, 125. It's hard to speculate how much further it could go. So maybe a few more dollars. I think the base metals are relatively cheap at the moment, considering what they were going back, 3 and 4 months ago, the likes of aluminium and a few of the others, and copper. So at the present time, those commodities I'm keeping a close eye on. Let's see what happens over the summer driving season and the demand picture going into June and July. And I want to see if there's any other major concerns that trigger market sentiment. I mean, I think there's enough out there to cause the radar on every trader's bridge is very, it's very much turned on.
Okay, Peter, on that note, we'll let you go. Appreciate your time today. Always a pleasure speaking with you.